It's supposed to be a Rangeman in here with DeWalt accents, which I bought on sale from G-Shock.com, but as our last unboxing shown, we won't know until we actually open it up. Welcome to another chaotic unboxing. I'm Jim Kinkade. Oh yeah, there we go. It's in a plastic baggie. It is the Rangeman GW-9400 Gen 1 with DeWalt accents. There it is. Check it out. All right, look, there's a metal keeper, and this metal keeper is black. All right, that's a little bit different than the one with the Milwaukee accents, meaning the red GW-9400. I believe that it has a steel-colored, just a clear coat, like this buckle. Why isn't the buckle black, too? My OCD is flaring up. Anyways, look at that. That's a lot like the King, how it has that bumper that goes across the screen. So we'll compare it to the King. We'll compare it to a bunch of them. We'll do a quick comparison. Look at all these other G-Shocks in here. You'll notice that the Citizen ProMaster Land is not in here because what I was referring to earlier is last episode I went to unbox it and it was a totally different watch. And a couple of different guys suggested that someone may have scammed K Jewelers by returning the wrong watch. Well, I got scammed. I was downstream of that scam. So, goes to show you the ripple effect of dishonesty, all right? But I'm going to try and get that ProMaster Land, the correct one. But anyways, let's focus on the Rangeman GW-9400. A lot of guys ask me if they should upgrade to the Mudmaster GW-9500, which is my favorite watch. And I tell them, you know, if you already have the GW-9400 and you're happy with it, stick with it, all right? By some accounts, this is the best watch ever created, the best watch in the whole history of time. And, you know, watches track time. So really, this is the best object ever, according to some. And I would say, yes, G-Shock has a huge problem that they made the GW-9400 so good that they have trouble selling any other watch. Like I got the third gen Rangeman, the GPR H1000, and in showing it on my YouTube, so many comments were along the lines of, no thanks, I'll just stick to the Rangeman GW-9400. Okay, so first impressions. Well, I'm liking it. It's more meatball shaped than my Mudman. The Mudman is flatter. Okay, and it's not as, doesn't stick out as proud. Now I don't want to make this into a whole big comparison video. We'll save that for another time because I need to get more hours wearing this. But this is like the old school style LCD screen, okay? The numbers, they look tiny, and it's kind of an optical illusion because the watch is so big, but if you get the numbers from other watches, like this is the GW-6900, all right? You can see the digits. The digits actually, they look either exactly the same size or maybe a little bit bigger. You'd have to get out the calipers and correct for parallax to get the exact size of the numbers, but it comes off as being so small on account of the fact that the watch pretty big, all right? Now, you look at the depth, it's pretty thick. It's a thick watch, you know? There's the King for comparison, and it looks to be slightly thinner, but when you add in that light shroud, it's ends up being about the same. And what did we say this was? 11/16 of an inch? I can't even remember. Nearly 3/4. This is 3/4 of an inch. Remember, I don't have calipers, I just use wrenches. So I think that I stuck this in a 3/4 wrench, an open-ended wrench, if I remember correctly. I should probably remember these details and write them down. Very similar thickness. All right, so this is a big boy. Okay, the Rangeman first gen GW-9400, big boy. But look, you have that chamfer to the edges, so it can go under the sleeve. We hope. all right? And you get a waffle print on those buttons, but the buttons feel like plastic, but they are made to look like they are metal. And I know from watching other videos that these are decorations. I believe G-Shock High Fashion, I think it was, he took apart some of these. I've seen some disassembly videos of this particular model, and those are decorations. Of course, these screws on the Mudman are not decoration. These actually hold in the bezel. And for those of you asking if I'm going to get the metal bezel Mudman, the answer is yes, but it might be a couple weeks, all right? 2 more weeks, stay tuned. And I know I'm jumping all around, but that's due to the excitement of an unboxing. So this time is correct. You look at the seconds pretty close. The minute is on, right? The hour is off. Why? Because this says multi-band 6, so it's going to sync up to the time, but you have to actually enter in the time zone. Might as well do that now. So the reason I know how to do this is that this whole process of setting is the same on just about every G-Shock watch. I held down the adjust button until we were able to access this setting, right? See, it says blinking set. And by the way, this is the official pointer pen of the Jim Kinkade YouTube channel, the Rite in the Rain Metal Readiness pen, and that is a window smashing tip, all right? So really important if, you know, you live near water. I don't. I live in West Texas, no water. But if you did, you know, and you roll your car into one of those bodies of water that they have in other parts of the country, you know, you could be trapped in your car, all right? I've seen this on TikTok. There's a guy who, like, dives and finds cars submerged under water, and at the end of a really emotional rescue, he's like, oh, by the way, buy a window smasher. Well, the Metal Readiness pen by Rite in the Rain already has one on there. So anyways, I am pointing right now at where it's blinking set, okay? That means we are in the set mode, and we need to set the time zone. Now it's set to New York, which is the East Coast time for the United States, and that's what time it is now where my brother lives. He's in Boston. And now, all right, so pushing this button advances us eastward around the planet. And so now we're in Lisbon, so shout out to all the Europeans, London, Madrid, Paris, Rome, Berlin. All right, we have a bunch of watchers from all those different parts of the world, right? Shout out to all of them. I think we have a watcher of the Jim Kinkade YouTube channel represented from every time zone on planet Earth. And thank you to all you guys for checking in. Sydney, all right, Freddy Krueger in Desert Survival down there in Australia. All right, we're making our way around the world. Hang in, gentlemen. We're almost there. LAX, that's West Coast time. So Neil, right? He's in Bakersfield, right? Denver, all right, Mountain Time. So Tim Johnson, right? Mexico. I know we have a bunch of gentlemen who check in from Mexico. That's Mexico City. All right, here we go. Chicago, that's a central time zone of just about all of Texas, and that's what we want the time to be set at. So let's press mode to move on to, we want daylight savings time to be auto. We want 24-hour time, also known as military time. And all of this other information is correct, I believe. And we want it to blast the beeps, so we have key and light. We want the light to stay on for 3 whole seconds. Power saving mode on units. We want actual units, not crazy metric system, nonsensical time. All right, there we go. Bing, bang, boom. Oh, you have to enter in the latitude and longitude, which you know, I don't want to get embroiled in all these little details, but I can use the 3rd generation Rangeman to get my coordinates to enter into my 1st generation Rangeman. And the reason why you'd want to do that is for the sunrise and sunset feature, okay? I won't do that now. In fact, I don't even know if this will pick up the GPS inside the house. So stay tuned for another video in which we will get the GPS coordinates, okay? In a previous video of the GBDH-2000, I got my coordinates, and some wise guy went and checked where those coordinates are, and I was busted because I filmed that video in front of Texas Burger, all right? Down there in Midland, Texas, okay? And so, yeah, it's a fitness watch. I was out there in front of Texas Burger getting triple meat, triple cheese, pepper jack cheese. So delicious. It like is very stringy cheese. It's kind of like mozzarella. You take a bite, there's a string of cheese between the bite and the boiga. That's why I love Texas Burger. Only in the Midland, Odessa area. But anyways, someone looked up the GPS coordinates in the video in which I showed you how to. And it's the same procedure on the 3rd gen Rangeman. No such feature on the 1st gen Rangeman. No GPS, no Bluetooth, no nothing. All right. Anyways, we are way off track. This is unboxing, and suddenly I'm like setting all these features. All right. I am exiting the this mode here for setting the time. All right, so this is the main time, and we're gonna hit mode. There's a world time. It's set to UTC, which is the same as London. So who's on London time zone? Time Bombardier, I believe. Eddie Jones. Who else is in London time? Stopwatch. All right. Timer. Yep. Now the question is, does it go higher than an hour? All right, so the top there is blinking 0 hour. All right, so there's hope that it can go higher than 1 hour. So right now it's set for 1 hour and 10 minutes. 2 hours. All right, already the 1st gen Rangeman's better than the 3rd gen Rangeman. The timer on the 3rd gen Rangeman only goes up to 1 hour. Totally useless when doing something as simple as setting the timer for your washing machine and dryer in the man camp. They have those newfangled ones. The washing machine I have at home is a Speed Queen. It takes less than an hour. But I mean, that's not the point. The point is, how could a new watch have a worse timer? Casio engineers found a way. All right, 3 hours, 4 hours. You see those tiny numbers? All right, the main complaint of the old Rangeman as compared to the Mudman is the numbers are very small. All right, guys who need to whip out their reading glasses have trouble. All right, I'm holding this watch very close to the lens of the Sony EV1F. All right, so now those of you who can't normally in real life see those tiny blinking numbers, maybe now you can. All right, the numbers are going way up. What are we up to? 10 hours, 10 minutes, 13 hours, 14. The numbers, they just keep going. The value just keeps growing. Back down. All right, 24 hours. And can we go reverse? Yes. All right, 24-hour timer. That's amazing. Cutting edge 2010 technology right here, right? 2015. I forget when this watch first came out. But anyways, we should find Denise's DWH-5600 because you can only set the numbers in one direction. This one you can change the parameters forward and reverse. Amazing, right? All right. Anyways, and also, while we are setting that parameter, we can see the local time, all right? That already has a huge advantage over many of these other watches where if you dive into a different function, you've lost the ability to check the local time. For example, here's the GD010, brand new watch, basic watch. Don't want to trash it because I want to encourage Casio to make more basic unconnected watches, but just watch as I press mode. I'm going to go from the main time to the world time to the alarm. And what time is it now? I don't know. All right, here's the timer. What time is it now? I don't know. Big screen, no room for that information on. But this 1st gen Rangeman, we can see local time as we look at the timer. All right, anyways, moving on, we have the alarms, which I believe are 5, hourly, chime, and the snooze, right? Sun, that means sunrise, sunset. All right, now here's one of the areas that the Mudman is going to beat the Rangeman. All right, so we're looking at the the sunrise and sunset, okay? So here's a date. In small numbers is a sunset, and big numbers is the sunrise, okay? And this subdial here now is a clock, okay? And so these little, what would be the you know, the hour hand and the minute hand, so tiny, very difficult to see, especially with a shadow, because of the distance from this guard to the actual LCD screen below, okay? So it casts a shadow, so you guys can probably barely see the little ticks there. But anyways, 9:28. So today, at the latitude and longitude where this watch is set, the sun will rise at 6:45 a.m. and set at 6:37 p.m. So that's a much higher latitude than where I am now. I am in West Texas, okay? So the sun sets, well, let's just see where the sun sets, because a Rangeman, its latitude and longitude is set from the last time I did a workout, which was some time ago, because I have not been wearing this watch at all. Oh, there we go, the almanac. That's what they call it here. All right, so I have more. No, well, all right, it's way off. Interesting, right? That's the difference between where I live and wherever this watch was set. But again, we get about equal hours of sunlight and darkness. It must be the solstice. We must be nearing the solstice, right? All right. Anyways, so we can advance. Oh, wait. Okay. Whew. It just went right back to the main time screen. I don't know if you guys saw that. It timed out in the almanac feature, went back to the main time screen, and I pressed this forward button, and it started the stopwatch. Well, what happened? Are you confused? Don't be, okay? This Rangeman, the GW-9400, has this amazing feature. It's heralded in the G-Shock community, where when you are in the main time screen right here and you press the start button, the stopwatch starts. You don't have to like dive through the menu to get to that stopwatch. And that's great, because people are like, oh, why do you need to use a stopwatch? I end up using the stopwatch a lot. You know, like at work, I operate a pump in the oil field. So I will be told by my supervisor, Shane, hey, pump for 15 minutes. And it's kind of quicker just to start a stopwatch, even though you're counting down time. But rather than set 15 minutes on the timer, you just start the stopwatch, and you got to keep an eye out for when those 15 minutes have elapsed, all right? I'm not going to admit to losing track and then like 18 minutes later being like, oh, Shane, 15 minutes have gone by, haha. I'm not going to admit to doing that, but starting the stopwatch without having to dive through the menu is a great thing. And the question is, why don't more watches have that? That is a really good question, because the Mudman does not have that, all right? When you press what would be the start button, you immediately access the altimeter, which I guess is not a bad feature, but why don't more watches have that? Why can't you just press the button for the stopwatch? Like this is the GD010, when you press the start button, has a different feature where it will scroll through the time zones, which some people like Gary Hunt, you know, that he wants that, right? Some people want the different time zones and easy access to it. All right, well, that's fine. But where does that feature say on the King? All right, the King's dead. The King needs more sun. I don't know, but the thing is, there is at least one other watch that has that. Pat's Guitars says that the GA010 has that. All right, I cannot confirm that. I do not have the GA010, but after Pat's Guitars told me that, I'm thinking of maybe picking up the GA010, because that's just for that feature, yes, because it is that cool to press one button and get that stopwatch rolling. He said it was a party trick. All right, I think that it's an important function. Pat's Guitars says it's a party trick, but he is a party animal. All right, when your name's Pat's Guitars, you're jamming on guitars all the time. All right, and obviously the parties he goes to are really cool because people are interested in the functionality of his Casio G-Shock watches. All right, Guys, I think that the light is about to die on the camera, okay? So I'm gonna go until then, and when it dies, video over, okay? But let me just try it on. Let me get this little string out of the way, all right? And I'm just gonna rip it. Oh, I can't. It's like, this is a really sturdy string. This string is a lot more durable than other strings. And now I've put it on even tighter, wasting valuable unboxing time. Maybe I need to find my Tecto. Never mind, it's staying on. This is why we call the unboxing chaotic unboxing. All right, I'm putting it on notch 3, a little tight. Maybe I'll drop it back to notch 2. Here we go. All right. So my wrist is under 8.5 inches because I lost a lot of weight with wearing the GBDH 2000. We're down to 8.25. Can you believe that? And we got a metal keeper. Not really fond of metal keepers. They bite. Bing, bang, boom. There you go. All right. So I think that it goes out to about 8.5 inches. If your wrist is in excess of 8.5 inches, you may have some difficulty getting it on. But I got it on, all right? That's all that counts. And I think, well, I don't know. If you got on the last notch, then the keeper would be right on this little tab that keeps the keeper from going off the end of the watch. So, I don't know. 8.25 might be it. And by the way, I like plastic keepers way better for that reason too. And there's no, barb to keep the keeper from falling off on the Mudman. So the Mudman might be a little bit better if you have a very large wrist, okay? So 8.5 inches, technically you could wear it, but the barb here that keeps the keeper on would be in the keeper. And yeah, so when I push the keeper up, it's like squishing my flesh against the buckle. I don't like that. By the way, the 3rd generation Rangeman, where'd it go? I threw it back in here. Oh, here it is. It bounced. It ricocheted. All right. It also has a metal keeper. And yes, it did bite a lot. And I did not like the metal keeper. If I was locked into this watch, I would find a way to replace that metal keeper. You know, G-Shock goes back and forth with different models on the metal keeper. I think that metal keepers sell really well because they look really cool. I cannot deny that. But when you get out there and you're working, it's biting, it's annoying, and also, if you're an office person, every time you put it down on your desk, it's going to chip away. If you put it down on your laptop, it's going to ding up your laptop. And if you're one of those toddlers with a MacBook, what are you going to do when your MacBook aluminum is all dinged up? You're going to start crying like a baby? All right, this is really thick, really big, a lot of presence, like a old school kind of vibe, you know, early 2000s kind of look, old school style LCD. All right, if you are one of those, 40-year-old boomers, you might really love this watch, right? I'm liking it so far, all right? Ergonomically, I mean, the Mudman's my favorite watch. And so far, this has not dethroned it, okay? But again, I want to reiterate, if you are in the 9400 and you're thinking of an upgrade, you can't really upgrade from this watch. I mean, when you're looking at a watch like the Mudman GW-9500, it's like it offers a little bit, it's like different. Is it better? Well, that's highly debatable. I mean, I'll chime in after experiencing this watch for some days. I will chime in on which one I prefer, but my bias is towards the Mudman because I love it. It's battle proven, all right? And this one's battle proven too, but not, obviously not in my experience. It's my first time wearing it, all right? The Rangeman GW-9400. I'm liking the buttons, and the light button, you press into the watch to get that light going. The Mudman, you press up towards the top of the watch to get that light going. All right, we'll do a comparison let me just do a quick comparison with the GW or the GD010. Very similar. Wow, look at that. Also, I got this on sale from G-Shock.com, right? It was on sale. So the retail price is $330, but you're going to find a lot of these for a lot less on account of the fact that you know, this is an older one. From what I understand about the story is that, you know, the King came out first. The King has that bumper that goes across, and this provides extra shock resistance. So the King is like supremely durable. But then, you know, they were like, well, you know, let's do something with a bumper. Let's get some drains also, and let's add a little bit more of a chamfer to get it under the sleeve. And essentially that's what the Rangeman is, right? The evolution of the King. And that's what I believe. You know, I know a lot of you guys are screaming about finding a source for that. Well, I am my own source. I just made that factoid up. Whether it's true, it doesn't even matter. It makes sense and it sounds good, all right? And so there's some different color variations. You got the green Rangeman, and the green Rangeman has a negative LCD, which is outrageous because the green color in the G-Shock watch goes perfectly with the gray color of the LCD. So it's kind of stupid of them to add a negative LCD to the green Rangeman, but they did. And now, fortunately, if you like that green look with a regular LCD screen, this GD010 has the green body with a positive LCD, and I think it looks great. I've not seen it in person, but looking online, it looks good. And so I got this one with DeWalt accents so that I could do a head-to-head comparison with the GPR H1000, because it also has DeWalt accents, all right? And then I'm going to have to send this one back because the screws are coming out again, and it is totally unacceptable to have screws popping out on your supposedly absolute toughness watch, all right? This one's a fashion watch, not an absolute toughness watch, and at $500 I expect a lot more. The GW-9400, this one does live up to the absolute toughness. All right, and we'll test out the one with the metal bezel, and then the next step would be to test out the Mudmaster, which may happen in probably be later on in October, maybe November by the time we get into the Mudmaster. But stay tuned for that one. All right, we have it on the horizon. We have a calendar that we're following. Well, we're supposed to follow. I mean, how often do I follow a calendar? I mean, look at me. How often do I stay on the rails on a basic unboxing video? Never. All right. So this string is very durable. This must be a G-Shock string because I gave it a little tug and it was not coming off. Speaking of tugging, viewers love it when I tug violently on the watch band. All right. A little bit of movement there. All right, no wings. So this has the watch crotch, as I call it. That's very similar to the King. So we'll have to do a video comparison between the two, right? Look at that watch crotch. Gentlemen, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father except through him. I'm Jim Kinkade. Thanks for watching.